Namaste. Welcome to Anvesh. Today we are traveling without any much physical effort. We are crossing the continents quite easily. We have got transportation that travels at the speed of the sound, and maybe in future we might be having transportation that goes at the speed of light. But let us pause from our present and travel back to the past. How our ancestors were traveling, particularly in India and more particularly in South India and specifically in Vijayanagara Empire. Unfortunately, we do not have much information from our own records that specify about the travel and the transportation modes in Vijayanagara Empire from 14th to 16th century. Even if we have some information that can be gleaned from our domestic records, they are scanty. They supply very less information. But fortunately, we do have records of foreign travelers who painstakingly recorded every single minute detail that they have come into contact with. So let us flip through few pages of the travelogue authored by Caesar Frederick, an Italian explorer who came to Vijayanagara in late 16th century. Let us see what he has to share about his travel experience through the dominions of Vijayanagara Empire in late 16th century.
Traveling brings us to the question of roads in Vijayanagara. But here again, our knowledge is meager. The assumption is that there must have been good roads if we are to believe the contemporary foreign opinion. From the accounts of travelers and epigraphical records, we are able to gather a little about the existence of these roads in Vijayanagara. The Russian traveler Nikitin speaks of a road going straight through the town. Barboza tells us that the streets and squares were very wide. Paez informs us of a broad and beautiful street while dealing with the outer circles of the capital. Then again, while describing the citadels, he writes that he saw a very beautiful street of very beautiful houses. And he further says that there were 34 streets between the House of Victory and the palace. People were traveling according to their status in the society. Royals, nobles, and rich men were traveling by horses, elephants, and palanquins. Commoners were using bullock carts. They were also traveling by foot. And no commoner is allowed to use palanquin. But the foreigners were allowed to use palanquins. Caesar Frederick, an Italian traveler, narrates two of his experiences from his travel through Vijayanagara dominions. Once he wanted to travel from Hampi to Goa. He writes,
"At the end of 2 months, I determined to go for Goa in the company of 2 other Portugal merchants, which were making ready to depart, with 2 palanquins or little litters, which are very commodious for the way, with 8 falchines which are men hired to carry the palanquins. 8 for a palanquin, 4 at a time they carry them as we used to carry barrows. And I bought me 2 bullocks, one of them to ride on, and the other to carry my victuals and provision. For in that country men ride on bullocks with panels, as we term them, girths and bridles, and they have a very good commodious pace. From Vijayanagara to Goa in summer it is 8 days' journey. But we went in the midst of winter, in the month of July, and were 15 days coming to Ancona on the sea coast. So in 8 days I had lost my 2 bullocks, for he that carried my victuals was weak and could not go. The other, when I came unto a river where there was a little bridge to pass over, I put my bullock to swimming, and in the midst of the river there was a little land, unto the which my bullock went, and finding pasture, there he remained still. And in no wise we could come unto him, and so perforce, I was forced to leave him. And at that time there was so much rain. And I was forced to go 7 days afoot with great pains, and by great chance I met with falchines by the way, whom I hired to carry my clothes and victuals."
In another incident, Caesar Frederick talks about the integrity of palanquin bearers. He says,
The winter in those parts of the Indies beginneth the 15th of May, and lasteth unto the end of October. And as we were in Ancola, there came another merchant of horses in a palanquin, and 2 Portugal soldiers, which came from Zealand, that is Ceylon, and 2 carriers of letters, which were Christians born in the Indies. All these consorted to go to Goa together, and I determined to go with them, and caused a palanquin to be made for me very poorly of canes. And in one of them canes I hid privily all the jewels I had. And according to the order, I took 8 falchions to carry me. And one day about 11 of the clock we set forwards on our journey, and about 2 of the clock in the afternoon, as we passed a mountain which divideth the territory of Ancola and Dialcan, I being a little behind my company, was assaulted by 8 thieves. 4 of them had swords and targets, and the other 4 had bows and arrows. When the falchions that carried me understood the noise of the assault, they let the palanquin and me fall to the ground and ran away and left me alone, with my clothes wrapped about me. Presently the thieves were on my necker and rifling me. They striped me stark naked, and I feigned myself sicky, because I would not leave the palanquin, and I had made me a little bed of my clothes. The thieves sorted very narrowly and subtly, and found 2 purses that I had well bound up together, wherein I had put my copper money which I had changed for 4 pagodas in Ancola. The thieves, thinking that it had been so many ducats of gold, searched me no further than they threw all my clothes in a bush. I rose from my palanquin or couch, and took it up and wrapped it together within my palanquin. Then these my falchions were of so good condition, that they returned to seek me, whereas I thought I should not have found so much goodness in them, because they were paid their money aforehand. As is the case, I had thought to have seen him no more. Before their coming I was determined to pluck the cane wherein my jewels were hidden, out of my couch, and to have made me a walking staff to carry in my hand to Goa, thinking that should I have gone thither on foot, but by the faithfulness of my falchions, I was rid of that trouble. And so in 4 days they carried me to Goa, in which time I made hard fare. For the thieves left me neither money, gold, nor silver, and that which I did eat was given of my men for God's sake. And after at my coming to Goa, I paid them for everything royally that I had of them.
The 2 incidents that Caesar Frederick has narrated in his travelogue are funny, but at the same time bit of frightening as well. But that's how the days were back in 16th century. Apart from Caesar Frederick, there are few more foreign travelers who have recorded their experiences while traveling through the Vijayanagara Empire. But those incidents will be narrated in our next video. Please do subscribe to Anveshi channel and support us by sharing our video links with your friends and family, because this information is being given to you after doing a painstaking research and also the production part. Please do subscribe to our channel and spread the information. I will come back and meet you with more travel experiences of our foreign travels going through the Vijayanagara parts. Till then, take care, be safe. Thank you.